Surplus, the food sourcing app for the community. Surplus began when my team and I identified a clear imbalance on our campus. On one hand, we saw that clubs often threw away large quantities of leftover food. On the other, we noticed that many students cut back on nutritious meals for a lack of dining dollars, preferring instead to go hungry for a night. We realized that our college conundrum serves as a microcosm for so many communities within our country and our world. The United States alone throws away 50% of its produce, a whopping 60 million tons annually. Wasted food takes up the majority of space in landfills, yet in the United States, 1 in 5 families face hunger. We had a massive problem on our hands, and we intended to solve it. During our initial research and testing, we focused on a more accessible demographic, the college campus. We found that while there were some existing solutions to the campus food imbalance, these solutions were spam-filled and downright unreliable. One example is our college's solution, a GroupMe chat. People were unsure about the status of food, and tons of notifications and space were taken up by people coming or leaving, not to mention trolling or inappropriate posts. The existing methods were clearly inadequate. To understand what our audience valued most in a solution, we reached out to college student acquaintances nationwide and even posted in the NCWIT Facebook group. Our findings were actually quite unanimous. Of existing solutions, people liked crowdsourcing, the ability to see food without being there in person, and the fact that food would be available in real time. They didn't like excess notifications, missing out on food, or spam. Of features we suggested, the most popular by far was real-time updates on the status of food, with spam reduction and filters close behind. For this reason, we decided to focus on updates, location capabilities, the ability to filter based on food type, popularity, amount, or distance, and reduction of spam. We also found that people really liked our idea. Now we just had to code it. The app was made using Swift 3 and Xcode, both of which were a first-time experience for our team. We learned how to create custom view controllers and collection view objects, link screen elements to functions, and navigate between views. As the backend developer, I learned Firebase and how to manage the asynchronous pushing and pulling of data, implementing strategies such as transactions and completion blocks. We used Firebase mainly for its real-time database, but also used authentication for login and storage capabilities for pictures. Finally, we used additional CocoaPods for location and other UI elements. Here's the app in action. Users register and then log in, view posts on the main page sorted by recentness, distance from the user, or amount as indicated by the custom pie chart. To create a new post, they take or upload a picture, title the post, select a location tag, and estimate the amount of food available. Then, if a hungry user sees a post they're interested in, they simply indicate so by clicking the On My Way button. This action can be undone by clicking the button again. See spam? No problem, just click the flag and it's reported. This project started as part of a 2-term internship with an app development lab at our school. During that time, all executive decisions were made together, and we divided the work into front-end, back-end, and design. I took on a major development role for the project in making the back-end, teaching myself Swift and Firebase to create the entire back-end structure for the app. I designed the software for the app's flow, all of its custom classes, and local data storage methods. After our internship concluded, I continued development of the project as its sole developer. It's one of the things I work on in my free time. Our impact and work doesn't just stop at the development level though. We also presented our app at a research symposium at the end of the year and pitched it at a Shark Tank competition. From this opportunity, our project was the recipient of I-Corps funding and business mentorship during the fall of 2017. One of the biggest challenges of this project was definitely the initial learning curve, but as we learned, we were able to achieve higher levels of complexity. Another challenge was synchronizing the app. Asynchronous threading is one of the built-in features of iOS development, but it definitely took some getting used to. On one hand, we wanted to optimize speed, but on the other, our asynchronous calls led to many hours of hunting down sporadic bugs. One recent feature that I think represents somewhat of a capstone challenge was implementing location services. This was again a trick in synchronous threading, since it had to span multiple view controllers. I learned how to use a singleton object to keep track of the location manager, and implement delegation methods for the Places client. To wrap it all up, I learned how to create a URL session to retrieve additional location data, especially for coordinate lookups. This year has been an incredible learning year for me and my team, from researching the initial idea to its development and execution. Our feedback from presenting at the symposium and interviewing potential users through iCore has continued to inform my iterations of the app to this day. While there is certainly room for refinement, there is also an incredible opportunity for impact. Going forward, we hope to scale our project to other universities and communities. Our project is extremely relevant to homeless populations. A recent study revealed that homeless youth consider their cell phones as important as their next meal. We also hope to apply it to food waste on a much larger level, from restaurants to industrial farms. Thank you for listening. We can't wait to see what the new year will bring.